Hi everyone, Arthur here. I wanted to come on here and do a video about something I saw on Instagram last night that really spoke to me. So, the past few years of living in the United States has been, shall we say, traumatic in many ways, especially as a queer person, living in the US, watching my rights be slowly chipped away bit by bit, watching more and more people actively work against my rights and work against all the progress that we've made over the last few years, just being wiped away. And that's been really challenging. And also just all the other immigration raids and the COVID-19 pandemic and people's response to that, and seeing people become so anti-vaxxer, which as someone on the autism spectrum is really offensive to me as a person, because that's rooted in autism is bad and you shouldn't want autism, and if you have autism you're bad. And that's really damaging rhetoric and really dangerous rhetoric, because it gives permission for people who are a little off to come after people who are autistic. So needless to say, the last few years living in the United States has been very traumatic, very triggering, very traumatizing in many ways for me. And so now I'm in the Netherlands. I've been here, it'll be 3 months next week, and I'm finding myself slowly healing from all of that trauma, from all of that grief, that worry, that sense of feeling completely on high alert all the time. And that's the thing, is like, in the United States, especially this last year, you were constantly on high alert because there was always some news story coming out that you needed to pay attention to. And it was very traumatic and triggering and very you can't live like that. You cannot live in a constant state of crisis and emergency and fear and worry. It's not safe, it's not good for your body, it's not good for your soul, it's not good for your mind, it's just terrible. And I could feel that, I felt like in my body, I felt that sense of high alert, that sense of okay, what's next? Oh, am I next? All that. And I felt that constantly every single day. Having trouble sleeping, having trouble eating, just not wanting to disassociate constantly. It was so challenging. And now I'm slowly healing from all that. I'm not feeling a need to be on as high an alert all the time. My body is slowly letting go of that need. I'm sleeping better. I'm eating better. I'm not needing to disassociate as much. I'm able to be a little more social. And I'm not fully healed by any means, and I don't know that I ever will be, but I don't think I realized just how hard living in the US was until I got out. And that's not to say that things in my life weren't good. Things were really good. I had a really good husband, a good job, an apartment, cats, all these great things. And that doesn't mean that life here has not been hard. There's definitely been some challenges here, which I'll talk about in a future video probably. So there's definitely been some challenges here as well. But the challenges here, one of them is that I'm not constantly on high alert and stressed out over how the government is treating people I love and care about, and treating me. Today marks 25 years since the Netherlands became the first country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage. And that is amazing, and very inspiring. You know, to know that I'm living now in a country that was the very first in the world to recognize my right to marry, and that other countries followed suit from that, is a really powerful thing, and makes me really glad I'm here. And to know that marriage in the United States, gay marriage at least, is on high alert, on constant threat of being banned again. I mean, we know the case with Kim Davis got thrown out of court by the Supreme Court, but there are other cases pending that could jeopardize that right in the U.S. And here in the Netherlands, as far as I'm aware, there is no threat to that happening. It's safe, secure, it's legal, it's been legal for a long time now, and I'm not worried about it going away anytime soon. I'm not having to worry about whether or not my husband and I are not going to be legally recognized here anymore. And that is really freeing. And moving here has given me the space to breathe again, like really breathe and process. And yeah, I mean, and I recognize the privilege that I have to be able to move. Because not everyone can. I really feel for those who can't. And I really want to help them get out if they can at all. And I feel a sense of obligation to my fellow queer people back in the US who haven't left yet or don't have a plan to leave. And I also understand the reasons why they would want to stay. If you've got community there, if you've got family there, if you have a job you love, or if you're really active in the community, I understand the wanting to stay. And I struggle with that too. I struggled a lot with things are really good for me here in San Francisco. Why would I walk away from that to move to another country where I don't know anybody, don't know the language, don't have a job, you know, all of that stuff. But for me, my own healing, I had to get out. I could not stay in that system any longer. There's a saying I love, it's, you can't heal in the place that made you sick. And being in the US was making me sick. Not in the physical sense, although I can't eat dairy in the States, so that was making me sick in some ways. Anyway, but in the mental, in the emotional, in the physicals, in the physical sense, like I was sick. I was not doing great. I know on paper I was doing wonderfully. I was doing well. But mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I was struggling. And here I get to heal from all of that, and I get to expand my mind, heal from the trauma of the last decade plus of living in the US. It's a good feeling. And it's also hard. Healing takes time. It's not an overnight process. It's not one and done kind of thing. It's a very gradual thing. I am definitely feeling less and less of a desire to keep up with what's going on back in the US. I still check the news occasionally, but I'm not obsessing over it. I'm not reading it all the time. I am still checking Twitter occasionally just to keep up with what's going on. And also with the time difference, I hear about stuff either very late after it happened or before anyone else in the US hears about it. So it's kind of a weird space to be in. But yeah, I mean, I don't miss being on high alert all the time. I don't miss being traumatized by the news daily. I don't miss any of that. And not to say that things are perfect here in the Netherlands. There's definitely, this place has issues too, like everywhere it does. But I feel safe. And I feel like I'm healing fully. And that is worth everything to me. So yeah, so I am fully healed. I am starting to heal from living in the U.S. I'm starting to come back into myself and who I was meant to be. And it's not easy. It's hard. I'll just say it's very hard. And it's time consuming. And it's scary. And I feel for everyone back in the States that I love and care about who's struggling. And I also know that I can't live there again. I can't do that to myself. That would not be good for me. So I am here in the Netherlands on a hopefully permanent basis. And I'm good with that. I've made peace with that. The US was a part of my past. The Netherlands is my future. There's a clear separation there. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say today. Thanks for watching. And click the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you.